Hi there, I am Elizabeth Tolan at Mrs. Wyoming 2019, and today we are interviewing our contestants for the 2020 pageant, which is going to be held July 11th in downtown Denver. So without further ado, go ahead and tell me your name and your title.
Great. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Kristen Janelle, and I am proud to be representing my hometown of Boulder, Colorado. And so I will be Miss Boulder in this year's pageant.
Very cool. All right, so as a Miss Boulder, go ahead and tell us all about you.
Okay, so a little bit about me. I'm a single mom. I have an 8-year-old daughter who will be going into the 3rd grade this year. And I have a very energetic 4-year-old son who also has autism. And we are working really hard to get him into kindergarten next year. So basically what that means for us with him having autism is just a lot of in-home therapy. So my days consist of having multiple people in our home, helping him with his various needs. So they also go with us to school. So on any given day, we probably have about 2 or 3 different helpers in addition to our family. So needless to say, there is a lot going on around here, and there's never a dull moment in our house.
What kind of hobbies do you have? What sort of things do you enjoy doing?
So yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually a painter. I've used it as an art therapy for myself for years. From a young age, had a chronic illness. And so from about the age of 10 on, I was having subsequent surgeries and radiation therapy, and learning to kind of, find myself within this diagnosis. And so using art as a therapy has just been something consistent for me that has been really resourceful and useful. So following that kind of same path, I ended up getting my degree in my master's degree in education, curriculum, and instruction. And I'm a kindergarten through 8th grade art teacher. So I write curriculum for several summer camps and school programs within the area. But I also, write and teach the curriculum, but I'm currently in the middle of a project that I'm really passionate about, in which I'm writing social stories for kids with autism. And so I have a book series that I'm about to publish along with that. And so my passion sort of lies within autism advocacy and for early intervention, but also in using art as a therapeutic tool for mental health and invisible health issues. So I don't know if that kind of sums it up a little bit.
No, that's great. So what prompted you to participate in the pageant this year?
Great question. So my background is actually in fashion and runway modeling. So I've never done a pageant before. This is my first pageant. But when this was first presented to me, I realized what a fantastic step towards achieving my goal of reaching more people with my message, to reach as many people as possible with my message, and to speak about the causes that I'm most passionate about. This, of course, in addition to the wonderful benefits of pageantry, which are known, and of like networking and the sisterhood that it brings, and just the platform that you get to speak, on. So I guess those are my reasons for doing it, but I am also sort of exploring that as I go. I wouldn't typically consider myself as a pageant girl. I'm sort of a mountain girl. I like to be in the dirt. I like to camp. I like to hike. But there's definitely that side to me, just from my fashion and runway experience over the years, that I love to put on a pair of heels and walk on a runway. I love to be on stage. I love to perform. And so all of those things I feel like kind of have come together really for this one thing, which is a pageant. And I never would have in a million years dreamed that I would be up on this stage. I actually just learned how to walk again, which I will dive into later. So in a way, I'm kind of coming out of my shell. I'm kind of redefining who I am, and I'm sort of liberating myself from my own invisible illness, in the process.
That's awesome. So what's a life lesson that you would want others to learn from you?
Okay, so I guess, let me think about that. My message is of hope. So, that no matter what you're dealing with mental health wise, that you're not alone. And not only are you not alone, but life goes on. There's really light at the end of the tunnel. And that you don't have to be a victim of your life or of your circumstances.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So knowing that 2020 has been a roller coaster, crazy right now. I don't even know what day it is. If you were crowned in July,
Yep.
Like, I look at the menu, I'm like, what's today?
I know. I'm like, is that, no.
The garbage came today, so I know it's Friday. uh,
Right?
so knowing that this year has been just totally bonkers, if you were crowned in July, what would your reign look like? What would your year look like?
Yes. I would really embrace the opportunity to reach a much wider audience, and to spread awareness and advocate for just what I'm passionate about, which I've kind of delved into a little bit, but specifically autism, early intervention, suicide prevention, which again I can get into in a little bit here, and just for erasing the mental health stigmas that surround those things. And I would do so by continuing with my mission to write and provide therapeutic art curriculum. And I'm actually starting a program. It's called the Art Accessibility Project. And in doing this pageant, I think that I could, reach a much broader audience and really get into the lives of those that could use this program most, whether it be therapists or educators or lay people or caregivers. I think that it can be adaptable. And so I would use my reign to kind of reach out to these programs and to collaborate with them on a larger scale, hopefully on a global scale eventually.
Yeah, there's definitely lots of opportunities. All right, so in a different vein, tell me about someone you admire and why you admire them.
Okay, so that's an interesting question. I realized in thinking about this previously that I don't really have a one person inspiring, like all encompassing person, I guess, that inspires me, but rather a group of people. And it's the people that get up every day and despite their invisible illnesses, they choose to get up and, excuse me, they live their lives to the fullest. Excuse me. And they live their lives to the fullest. And oftentimes they're pushing through chronic pain and life circumstances and things and their own issues to get out of bed every day and to live their lives. And to me, there's nothing more profound than to kind of realize that you are not your life. You're not, things that are out of your control, out of your realm of control, as I like to say, but that you're an individual and you have a short time on this planet. And, there's nothing more that we can do than to connect with one another. So I guess my long answer to your question is that rather than one person, excuse me, I'm inspired by a group of people, and that is anyone pushing through an invisible illness and continuing to live their life anyway.
Awesome.
So
this is no, you're good. Water. So this is your first pageant, right?
Right.
So yep. What have you learned about yourself in preparation for competing?
Oh, good question. I have learned that I have a lot of passions that I am just now able to manifest into something tangible. I've learned that I tend to overthink and analyze everything to death, but I'm realizing that because I do analyze things and study them a little bit too much, and live inside my head a lot, that I'm really so passionate about these causes. And that if I, can just sort of hone in my energy into one thing, that I think I can make a big difference in the world.
That's awesome. I think I'm a lot like you. And then I wonder if in the same vein, you're like me and that you like to have a plan, and then there's a backup plan to that plan, and then a backup plan. And I don't care if we have 26 plans, but we're going to have a plan. And if it's not on the, it has to be.
I am like my biggest obstacle that way sometimes,
I do the same. I pull my husband. I'm like, okay, we need to sit down and think about a plan. And he's like, we just did this. I'm like, no, we need to do it again.
Another plan. Right.
I need another one. There's another one scrapped. We got to move on.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yes. That's awesome. Yeah. We are very similar in that. Okay. So something fun.
Yeah.
What was your favorite toy growing up?
Oh my gosh. My favorite toy growing up. I was not really into Barbies. I remember having G.I. Joes, which is funny, but I liked the sort of toughness and I guess, the ruggedness of the G.I. Joes rather than that. I didn't really play with that many toys. I was kind of a nerd, and I painted a lot in my free time, and I liked to dress up, and I did theater. And so a lot of my, hobbies, I guess, as a kid just related to crafting and just being outdoors. So I don't know that I had a favorite toy. My paintbrush, my easel, I don't know.
So Besides the crown, what would you be hoping to gain from participating in the pageant this year?
Right. Good question. So for me, this year really is just about being liberated. I learned how to walk again after being paralyzed and in a wheelchair for a year in 2017 from one of my chronic illnesses that I kind of mentioned a little bit about before. And I was told that I wasn't going to be able to walk again, or at least that they didn't know if I was going to be able to walk again. So for me, there's a kind of double faceted thing here. One is to really put myself out there on a stage again. And when I kind of had thought I had hung up my heels, so to speak, and I wasn't going to do that again. So I'm really kind of stepping outside of my comfort zone, getting back on a stage, using my legs to walk again, which is monumental. And I'm so thankful to be in this spot where I can do that. But also, I lost my significant other and the father to my children of suicide, to suicide last year. And so I am on a journey of just self-acceptance and pursuing my own passions and kind of reinventing what my life looks like without him in it, if that makes sense. So this is kind of a way for me to step out back into the world and say, you know what, I'm here, I'm resilient, I didn't give up again, when I wanted to, and and I'm sort of redefining what my life looks like, my 5-year plan, my 10-year plan, what my kids and I are going to do, just in general, beyond my academic life and my professional life. So I am redefining who I am, and I'm stepping out in a really big way, and I'm sort of doing it for myself so that I can see also the same message that I'm trying to portray to everybody, which is that life goes on. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and if you just keep trying and you keep waking up every morning and getting yourself out there, that sky's the limit. So that's what I hope to gain.
That's awesome. And sorry for jumping out of my skin here. It's a good thing I had this on mute. We have a Great Dane who just decided to lose his mind at something, and I was not paying attention to him. So when he barked, I
totally
had a heart attack.
I'm all hiding my pets too.
No, like really, dog. Oh.
I have 2 cats, a bird, and a dog. I get it. It's like our house, constant running around.
That's same here. So I think you have a lot going on. I think, you have a lot of different stories to tell, and that,
right.
I think that's right. Super powerful. So that said though, what is one last thing that you'd want to share with me or with the viewers who are watching today?
Sure. Okay. So one thing that I would like to share is just that, life is short, and the best thing that I feel that we can do as individuals is to really kind of dive deep into what kind of impact we want to leave on the world and what kind of legacy we want to leave behind. So by defining our personal legacy, I think that we can kind of live our lives to our fullest potential, and not just in the broad scheme, but also like to, hone in our goals and everything that encompasses who we are as people, and to just sort of create our personal legacy and move from there. So if we can kind of define what that legacy is, what we want to leave behind, we can kind of work backwards from there and define, what parts about us that we want to manifest and what part about us that we want to share with the world. So I guess my biggest my message is, obviously not to give up, but also to pursue your personal legacy and to manifest that.
I like it. That's solid. That's solid. All right, Kristen. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with me this afternoon.
Good luck, getting through all these interviews, girl.
Oh yeah, no, it'll be good, and hopefully we will all be together in a couple of weeks. And
I know.
Say hello in person.
Fingers. I know.
Yeah,
so, I know.
Definitely.
Right. Well, thank you for taking the time and for rescheduling.
Oh, yeah,
I was like driving. I'm going, oh my gosh, I can't make it in time.
No, you're good. You're good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.